the mighty and resilient Merrimack River, carving through the communities of our great region. My name is Linda Lorden, proud president of Merrimack County Savings Bank, and like the river that serves as our namesake, we're a constant yet ever-changing presence. Because to us, it's bigger than banking. It's about powering communities and putting people first. It's about knowing where you came from and where you're going. That's Merrimack style. Visit us at themerrimack.com.
The Agile brand.
Welcome to Season 6 of the Agile brand, where we discuss marketing technology and customer experience trends, insights, and ideas with enterprise and technology platform leaders. We focus on the people, processes, data, and platforms that make brands successful, scalable, customer-focused, and sustainable. This is what makes an Agile brand. I'm your host, Greg Kihlstrom, advising Fortune 1000 brands on MarTech, marketing operations, and CX, best-selling author and speaker. The Agile Brand Podcast is brought to you by TEKsystems, an industry leader in full-stack technology services, talent services, and real-world application. For more information, go to teksystems.com. Before we get started, I wanted to let you know that my latest book, Priority is Action: 7 Principles for Better Strategies, Decisions, and Outcomes, is now available. In it, I give ideas and insights for leaders and teams that need to make meaningful progress on their priorities. After all, our priorities are what we do, not what we say we'd like to do. You can find Priority is Action on Amazon or learn more on my website, gregkihlstrom.com. Now let's get on to the show. Today we're going to talk about trends in conversational commerce and why retailers need to rethink the customer experience when it comes to messaging apps. To help me discuss this topic, I'd like to welcome Stefanos Loukakos, co-founder and CEO of Connectly, who was previously Facebook's head of messenger business. Stefanos, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Greg. Very nice to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to talking about this topic with you. Why don't we get started with you giving a little background on yourself and what you're currently doing?
Absolutely. So I'm the CEO and co-founder of Connectly, which is a three-year-old startup. So we're in the AI space, and we help brands communicate with their customers with AI, and especially e-commerce and retailers. So we help them build meaningful connection with their customers and sell the right product to the right person at the right time. By the way, before Connectly, I used to work at Facebook, and I was running the business side of the Messenger app, so I know messaging really well. And before that, I was at Google for another 5 years. And before that, I was in the telecom world and in finance.
Great. Well, yeah, let's dive in here, and we're going to talk about a few things, but let's start with the retail customer experience. And you've said that the retail consumer experience is broken, and to fix it end to end, two-way conversations are critical. So first, can you explain a little bit about why you say that the retail consumer experience is broken?
Yeah, well, broken might be a big word, but I think it's static, right? So if you think how we shop today, we go to a personal website and we search for items, we add to cart, and we just buy things. And compare this to an experience that you have when you go in person to a nice shop, and you have an amazing assistant that knows exactly what fits you correctly, and can help you buy the right things and recommends things that you might not have seen in front of you, and he makes you buy stuff that you really like, and makes more revenue for the business. So we want to replicate the same experience for retail customers. And the amazing thing now is that we don't have to have people actually do that. We can have AI do exactly the same job, and I would say even better, because the AI can really understand what customers want. They have all the data, so all the different products, colors, items. They know exactly what is in stock, what it isn't in stock, and all that stuff. And if you train the models correctly, as we do at Connectly, you're able to really sell the right product to the right person. And what's the result of that? An amazing experience for the end customer, and more sales and more revenue for the business. So I'm not saying that the retail experience is broken, but it can be way better. It can be way more personalized. And the future of retail buying, would be for businesses to have one-to-one personalized conversation with their customers. So if I know that you've been here before, I should know what you like, what you have bought in the past, and I should use all this information to actually sell you products that fit you better. And this doesn't exist online today.
Yeah, definitely. And, definitely agree. There's lots of room for improvement in that retail consumer experience. One of the other things is, this idea of end-to-end two-way conversations. Can you define a little bit, what do you mean when using that term end-to-end?
So end-to-end for us is, if you see something that you like and let's say the AI assistant gives you a product that really fits you and you really like it, why can't you just buy it right now? Why do you have to go to a cart where you need to sign up again and you don't remember your password and need to do all that stuff that takes time and energy, and we do know that people drop out all the time during the process? Why can't you just buy it there and now? How can we make this process faster, easier for the consumer to buy stuff, and without the need to really, go to a website or a mobile site? So if you're chatting with an agent, you should be able to buy something inside the chat. So that's the end-to-end experience. I can give you an example from an industry that we don't, it's not retail, but you'll understand the idea is like when you get your mobile pass, right? When you travel, you get mobile pass, boarding pass. Can you change your seat in this, SMS conversation that you're having with the airline? Can you just upgrade inside there? Probably not. You have to make a phone call or go to a website. It's almost impossible. It seems like such a difficult, endeavor to do that. Why couldn't you just reply back and say, "Oh, I want that to upgrade to the window seat"? It should happen automatically inside the messaging thread. The same thing applies for retailers. We believe that if you find the right product and you can say, "Oh, do you have this in large? And do you have it in black?" "Yes, we do." "Can I buy it?" "Yes." And you pay inside the messaging thread. So this is the end-to-end experience that we're envisioning and we're deploying right now with customers.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely sounds like it's capturing people, when and where when they're thinking about making that purchase. From a brand and retailer perspective, what does this approach mean for them? Is it a mindset shift in, how they think about the customer experience? Is it operational? Is it technical? Or, is it all of the above?
I think it's a bit of all of the above, but it shouldn't be something complicated. I think they should be complementary to what they already do. We never say that businesses or retailers should have websites or mobile apps or mobile sites or whatever, right? Or even retail shops. What we're saying is that the retailers need to own their customers. They need to be able to personalize the conversation with their customers, and there should be a very easy way to do so. They shouldn't need to allocate engineering resources to make it happen and build their own models and all that stuff. So a simple solution that just works is what retailers need. And one thing that is really important for retailers, and I think this is a game changer for them, is that through these conversations, they get a ton of data, right? Data that they can use to, retarget or, continue the conversation with their customers. They can get their age, their budget, it's their male, female, or, what they like, what colors they like, what sizes they wear, right? So all this information, all this data can be used for retailers to retarget the conversation and be able to, again, personalize interaction with customers. I mean, if you think about it today, advertising, which is a huge business, is one-to-many. The same message, or kind of the same message to everybody, right? And whoever is interested, clicks and does something. We believe that the future is one-to-one. A different message to you, a different message to me, a different message to another customer. Businesses should know exactly who their customers are, even if there are lots of them, and they should be able to personalize the message with them. And I think that can be a game changer for businesses. And the most important thing, an amazing experience for their customers. I would love if I go to a retailer and they know what sizes I wear.
So how do you recommend that brands measure their success here? Is it with, traditional like CX or customer satisfaction metrics? Is it, traditional retail, like, order value and things like that? Or are there other ways to measure success here in addition to those?
I think so. This is a really good question. So it's definitely customer satisfaction, NPS scores, and all that stuff. But it's also engagement. Can you have long conversation with customers? Conversion are actually buying. Remember the end-to-end experience. We know what customers like. Are they actually buying stuff? So it's a combination of all those, and it depends, of course, on the retailer and what KPIs they want to measure and what is important to them. But in the end, I think engagement, happy customers is what really matters to them. And we know that a happy customer is the returning customer. I mean, that's like fundamental truth. And every retailer, every business wants to have happy customers. And personalizing the conversation with customers, giving them exactly what they want in a really nice and intuitive way, is a recipe for success, right? They're going to come back.
Yeah, absolutely. So wanted to switch topics a little bit here, and Connectly recently got a Series A funding, and so wanted to talk a little bit about that. I mean, first, congrats on getting that. Definitely, not an easy not an easy lift, but in addition to,
thank you.
Yeah, of course, yeah, and just curious, sounds like you have a good product already. What is this funding going to allow you to do?
So two things. First of all, it allows us to continue to grow. We have more than 300 customers today, a lot of big retailers, and it allows us also to really train our own AI and build models that actually solve and are optimized for specific use cases. My view on AI is that there's not going to be one AI that's going to do everything, because you cannot optimize for too many use cases at the same time. Yeah. So there's going to be, an AI for selling for retailers, a different AI for healthcare, et cetera, et cetera. So we are trying to build the best and most advanced sales assistant for retailers out there. And we are using a ton of data that we already have, conversations on how many questions we should ask before we recommend a product, what type of products we recommend, and all that stuff, and optimize for amazing customer experience, sales, conversions, engagement, and all that stuff. So building our own models and optimizing and training our own AI on our own data to optimize for these use cases is the number one. It's a costly endeavor, right? It's not easy, but it will allow us to really build the best sales assistant out there.
Yeah. And also, in addition to the Series A, you've entered the US market, and, just curious what your biggest insight there, as you've entered the market, and, just curious what your biggest insight is.
So the US market so every market is kind of different on the way customers interact with businesses, right? So the US, to give you an example, the messaging channels that customers are talking to businesses, for example, chains. In Latin America, where we do a lot of business, WhatsApp is the main channel. In the US, it's less WhatsApp, and it's a lot web chat and SMS and iMessage and this type of channels. The channels don't change our technology, right? We are indifferent of what channels customers use, but you need to optimize the experience for different channels. Also, the US has bigger retailers, way more. It's a big SMS market, marketing messages on SMS, which, if you think about it, they're all one way. You get a message and you need to click a link and do something. We believe the future, especially for the US, is two-way messaging, where you send a message and you communicate with the business and you have a conversation with the business. So every market is a bit different. The US I think it's messaging for businesses in the US is going to grow substantially. It already does. So we feel very optimistic about the prospects of entering and continuing to grow in this market.
Yeah, that's really exciting. Well, last thing I wanted to talk with you about is you recently made some predictions for the industry over the next year, and I realize we're partway through the year here at least, but still wanted to talk through this. And one of those was the rise of super apps, and I wanted to get your take on this, and maybe for those listening as well, what exactly are super apps, and why are they going to be important to retailers?
Yes. So super apps is more like, and I think Elon Musk and Twitter have an idea of building a super app, or he said so. I don't know if they're actually doing it. So the idea of the super app is kind of to let's say replicate what's happening in Asia. And I would point out to WeChat in China, for example, where is a message. It started as a messaging app, but then it became a place where brands are showcasing the products. You have payments there and do everything inside the messaging thread. So we never had this in the Western world, in the US, and there was a big reason why not. The messaging apps weren't able and didn't have the capabilities to allow that stuff. So you couldn't pay inside Messenger, or you couldn't pay inside, Messenger had a payment option, but inside WhatsApp or SMS, right? So now all these platforms are becoming, increasingly more advanced. They allow buttons and pictures and carousel pictures and all that stuff. So the experience is getting way better for end customers and retailers. So I believe we probably, I don't know if we're going to see exactly the same super apps they have in Asia, but we're going to go close, right? So we're going to see apps like WhatsApp or even iMessage or even on SMS. We're going to see tools that are going to allow people to buy stuff, do payments, and do everything that allows an end-to-end experience inside the messaging thread. So I believe these are going to be very close to the super apps they have in Asia, and we already see this happening. And there's a reason why. Businesses need to target the customers exactly where the customers are, right? The customer doesn't have the time and the energy to sign up to new websites and visit websites and do all that stuff. They want to do something. They want to do it wherever they are. So I believe this is going to happen, and we see signs that this is already happening.
Yeah. Any other predictions for us?
I think the removal of cookies is an important element of how businesses are going to continue to target the right customers. So it's going to make the need for businesses to have one-to-one conversation with a customer more important than it was before in the cookieless world. So we see this as a very positive sign for our business and for the messaging channel in general to become more mainstream for retailers.
Yeah, great. Well, Stefanos, thanks so much for joining the show. One last question before we wrap up here.
Please.
You've given a lot of great advice and insights already, but what's one recommendation that you would have for retail marketers to stay agile in the months ahead?
That's a really good question. So I would say to retailers that they need to start experimenting with new technologies, especially with AI. They shouldn't be afraid of it. If AI is installed and works well, it can really bring amazing results to customers and at a way lower cost of how they're doing business today. So start experimenting with AI and understanding the limitations and the opportunity of AI is going to be huge for retailers. And I think the ones that are going to start early, it's going to be a real game changer for them. So I would advise retailers just experiment with AI. There's a huge opportunity for you, for your business to improve.
Yeah, I love it. Well, again, I'd like to thank Stefanos Loukakos, co-founder and CEO of Connectly, for joining the show. You can learn more about Stefanos and Connectly by following the links in the show notes. Thanks again for listening to The Agile Brand, brought to you by Tech Systems. If you enjoyed the show, please take a minute to subscribe and leave us a rating so that others can find the show more easily. You can access more episodes of the show at www.gregkihlstrom.com. That's GregKihlstrom.com. While you're there, check out my series of best-selling Agile brand guides covering a wide variety of marketing technology topics, or you can search for Greg Kihlstrom on Amazon. The Agile brand is produced by Missing Link, a Latina-owned, strategy-driven, creatively fueled production co-op. From ideation to creation, they craft human connections through intelligent, engaging, and informative content. Until next time, stay agile.
The Agile brand.